to all my superhero friends out there. I'm here to read you a special story all about the amazing Spider-Man in the grip of the Sandman. It's one of my favorite stories. Have you heard this one before? No? Well, let's get started. The sound of police sirens caught Spider-Man's attention. Living in New York City, you hear sirens all the time. But until Peter Parker had become Spider-Man, he barely even noticed. Now he always notices, because each siren might mean it was time for Spider-Man to come to someone's rescue. Spider-Man saw several police cars rushing down the street. Then he saw a man running across a rooftop. I bet he's the one the police are after, Spider-Man thought. Do you think he's the one the police are after? Yeah, I think so too. Spider-Man swung down and landed in front of the man. Hi there, he said. I recognize you. You're Sandman, the man said with a low growl. And yeah, the police are after me in 9 states. Now get out of my way. Ooh. No can do, Spider-Man said. You're what people in the superhero business call a bad guy. Also, you're big and everything, but I highly unlikely you could... Huh? Spider-Man threw a punch and his entire arm passed through Sandman's chest. Whoa. And that's how I got my name. The Sandman laughed. But it's not always that way, see? The Sandman hit Spider-Man so hard that the web slinger fell off the roof. Spider-Man shot a web and swung back into the rooftop. Then he realized his mask was ripped. Great, he thought. I can't chase Sandman like this. Everyone will see my face. I have to keep my identity a secret. Later at home, Peter repaired his mask. The life of a superhero, he grumbled. Instead of chasing villains, I'm practicing my needlework. Did you know Spider-Man could sew? No? Well, I guess you learn something new every day. Meanwhile, across town, Sandman was also keeping busy. But in a much less legal way. Oh dear. What do you think Sandman's up to? Maybe let's find out. They think these banks are so tough to break into, he said to himself. But if air can get in, so can sand. Turning his body into tiny grains of sand, he slipped through the tiniest of cracks and into the vault. While he raided the vault, Sandman remembered how he got his power. Once upon a time, he'd just been a petty criminal thief named Flint Marko. One night, he managed to escape from prison, but in his rush to get away, he didn't notice he was going right into a dangerous area where scientific tests were being performed. He walked right into the middle of one test. After being caught in this explosion, he was surprised to be alive. He was even more surprised he could turn his body into sand and back again. That should do it, Peter said, putting his last stitch in his mask. Just then he heard a news bulletin. Attention! The Sandman has been seen at the First National Bank of New York. Right on time, said Spider-Man. Bullets may not hurt me, and regular jails may not be able to hold me, the Sandman said to himself, but I still get tired. The Sandman saw a school close by. Perfect, he said, pushing his way in. I always used to get plenty of sleep at school. Spider-Man was hot on Sandman's trail and saw him enter Midtown High School. Everything is going to depend on speed and timing, Spider-Man thought. My only chance is to catch him by surprise. Miss me, Spider-Man said, putting everything he had into a giant uppercut. It wasn't enough. Oh, man. How is Spider-Man going to defeat this guy? Hey, that was pretty good, the Sandman said, rubbing his jaw. This really is just like being back at school, except that I didn't used to be able to do this. Oh, no. I wonder what Sandman's got planned for Spider-Man. Turning your fist into sledgehammers, Spider-Man said as he jumped out of the way. That's pretty handy. All right, that was terrible even by my standards, Spider-Man admitted. Spidey looked around. His strength wasn't enough, and no web could hold sand. Was there something in the school he could use? What do you think that Spider-Man could use at your school to help defeat Sandman? Those are some pretty good ideas. I wonder if we turn the page, we'll find out what he decides to use. Aha, he thought, spotting a janitor. Spider-Man suddenly dropped to the floor and swept the Sandman's leg out from underneath him. What can I say, he asked. I get a kick out of bad jokes. Spider-Man leapt over the fallen Sandman and shot a web at the janitor's vacuum. Let's just make a clean sweep of it, shall we? He said, flipping the switch. Hey, no! Sandman screamed as he was sucked into the machine. And with that, Spider-Man said, turning the vacuum off, I give this school a clean bill of health. So did you think Spider-Man was going to use the vacuum? Great job! That was amazing, the captain of the football team yelled. You're amazing, the school's head cheerleader purred. Please, Spider-Man said. Nothing totally amazing Spider-Man couldn't have done. Man, Peter Parker's going to be sorry he missed this one of the kids said. You kidding? Another student replied. If he'd been here, he would have just been terrified. Spider-Man shook his head. No one could see it, but underneath that mask, Peter was smiling. Wasn't that a great story? Oh, man, that was great. Well, I hope all of you enjoyed the story with me today, and I hope to see you all very soon. Stay safe, wash those hands, and have a web-tastic day.